Welcome on into my review of one of the most overpriced and maybe one of the worst LEGO Batman sets of all time. We have 76303, ages 8 plus, Batman Tumbler versus Two-Face and the Joker, 429 pieces, and retails for 40? No, it is $59.99. The last one retailed for $40. This one is an absolute steal. Not that it's a good deal, it's like they're stealing your money. Let's go ahead and get on into it. You have three figures and a cool Batman logo right there. The box art's really cool, but again, the set is not. You do get this little bat symbol thing. I wish it was light up. I think that's just a waste of money. And you have this Bat Tumbler. You see it on the box. I think it's a little bit smaller than it even is on the box. Now you have these two figures that are good. The Batman sucks, but these two figures are really, really good. Starting off the figures, we do have Two-Face. We're going to have Batman, and we're going to have the Joker. This is based off the Christopher Nolan Batman The Dark Knight. The original one was based off of Batman Begins from Christopher Nolan. Let's go ahead and start off with Two-Face right here. He is a very, very cool figure. Kind of zoom in right here. You do have the coin. You have half of his face burnt, half of his body burnt. There is no leg printing, but you do have a black arm over here, kind of signifying that it is burnt. And you do have this really cool hair piece. That is basically kind of burnt right there. So that is really cool. That is a new hair piece just for this figure. Getting on into one of my favorite figures, this is the Joker. This is the same Joker from that Batmobile Tumbler set that came out a few years ago, like the big one, just without the arm and leg printing. So pretty good figure nonetheless. Finally, we have Batman. This is a down-sided Batman because you do have this rubber cape. Don't really like it. You do have some back printing. I think the torso and legs are the same as the one from 2021. You do have a different, basically, cowl right there. It is printed white on there, and you do have a full face. So I do like that. I think the helmet is better. So if you take the body, the cape of the old figure, and you add the new head and the cowl, I think it's going to make the best of both worlds. I think overall the figures are definitely the highlight of this set. When you get into the build, it just goes downhill from there. The figures are definitely the best part of the set. Getting on into the build, you do have this little bat signal thing. It can basically spin around on this plate and can go up and down. So overall, it is a pretty decent build, but again, I think it is just a waste of filler for the set. Getting on into the main attraction, it is an attraction. It's kind of a joke, but you do have the new tumbler. From afar, if you just took it from afar, it is decent. When you get into it, you can see that it is just small. These wheels back here are the same wheels as the ones up in the front of the last one. That would right there just show how much of a difference it is. You do have, there is decent detail up here, but it's just so small. The detail is nice, but just the size of it is just for $60. Now, granted, if this was say a $40 set, if they just left it at the same price, $40, okay, I could justify it because it comes with one more figure, you do get a small build, and it is a little bit more detailed. But for $60, I don't get it. I don't understand. You do have these ugly stud shooters on the side. I think they are really ugly. Inside, you do have a downscale. Last one, you could fit two figures. Now you can only fit one. There are two prints inside there. And it's just going to look weird whenever you put Batman in there because it just, with his new cape thing, it just, I don't know. I don't get it, Lego. It just doesn't really work well. You can put him in like that. You can't really see him from the front. Getting on into the back, there is some detail back here, but again, the back looks horrible. The back on the last one looked good. The back on this one, terrible. Just, I don't get it. And people are like, oh, you have the little fire on the back. I literally can take this off, modify the old one, and put it on there. So it's not that special. So overall, I think this set is a well-designed build if it was, say, a $35 Lego set. For $60, it is not good at all. Granted, the details are good. I wish there were no stud shooters. If you took off the stud shooters, this would be a good $35 build at most. But because it is $60, I just cannot recommend it. Let me go ahead and compare it to the last one. And this is the moment you have been waiting for. This is the 2021 version. This is the 2025. Just look at that size difference. Basically, wheel. So you have the front wheel up here is basically the same size as the back wheel on this one. Comparing the back wheel, there is no size comparison here. This is just what are you thinking, Lego? There are still two wheels. Just look. Look at the detail on the back of both. Which one's gonna be better? This one just looks better. Like, just comparatively on the side, you have more stickers on this one, but you have less detail over here. So overall, I think that just from an aesthetic standpoint, it is such a downgrade. Like, it just seems more cohesive up here. Kind of seems like big, blocky, and just bad back here. And then, from the front, it's wider. It's got a wider stance. You have more detail with the stickers. Granted, there are some smaller pieces to give it some more detail in some areas, but just look, you have a 1x1, basically 1x2 right here, but it's one stud compared to two studs. So just that part alone is double the size. So you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's basically 6 stud compared to 8 stud wide up front. I think it's maybe 10 studs compared to 8 total. Don't get me wrong on that. But again, basically size difference is so small. Again, you can fit 2 figures in here. I have my old figures in there, but you have 2 figures and you have 1. So just that size alone, look at the roof. It's like 2 studs bigger. Like, granted, if this was a better model, I wouldn't say anything, and it was cheaper or the same price. But they jacked it up by $20, and they made it worse. I don't get it. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this Lego set. Think of if is the new one worse than the old one? If you say this one is better, I have kind of a hard time believing that. In some aspects, it is. I do like the figures. That's the whole reason I bought the set. I will be trading this into my local Bricks minifigs to recoup some of the cost I got along with the terrible Batman. But I'm going to keep this one with the figs because I am a Christopher Nolan fan, and I do like the figs. The figs in this one are great. But again, the build is just absolutely horrendous. I do have a review on this one. I will leave it in the description below if you do want to check that out. And I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Lego's downsides and more expensive sets. I'll see you guys in the next video.